Are you ready to explore the secrets behind modern products? Join us in the colorful world of manufacturing, where creative ideas become reality. We will share with you in-depth knowledge, interesting stories about modern factories, and the latest trends in the industry. Want to update useful information and become an expert in the field of manufacturing? Don't hesitate, click the register button today to explore and learn with us. The idea of using sunlight to cook food through a lens sounds appealing, and in theory, it is possible. Sunlight carries heat energy, and when focused through a lens, this energy can become strong enough to burn material. Cooking a piece of beef requires a large amount of heat, concentrated over a long period of time. Sunlight, even when focused through a lens, only provides a relatively small amount of heat. This means that you will have to wait a long time for the meat to cook. It is difficult to adjust the temperature when cooking with sunlight. You cannot increase or decrease the temperature flexibly, like when using a gas or electric stove. This makes cooking beef difficult and does not ensure quality. Although the idea of using sunlight to cook beef through a lens is interesting, in practice, this method is ineffective and unsafe. To cook beef quickly, safely, and effectively, you should use traditional methods, such as cooking with a gas stove, electric stove, or oven. The main rotor blades spin rapidly, creating enough lift to get the helicopter into the air. This lift is created by the interaction between the rotor and the air. To balance the torque of the main rotor, the helicopter has a smaller tail rotor. The tail rotor creates a counter-thrust force, helping the helicopter maintain balance and stability while flying. The engine provides the power to rotate the main rotor and tail rotor. The engine can be a piston engine or a gas turbine. The angle at which the rotor makes contact with the airflow affects the amount of air that is pushed down and therefore affects the lift. The higher the rotor speed, the greater the lift. Advantages of a personal helicopter can travel to places that conventional aircraft cannot. Avoids traffic congestion on the ground. Would you like to know more about any other aspects of a personal helicopter? The larger the ship, the more difficult it is to maneuver, and the more space it requires to enter and exit the port. The mooring system must be strong enough to hold the ship in bad weather conditions. The channel must be wide and deep enough for large ships to navigate safely. When a ship is overloaded with cargo, the center of gravity of the ship changes, increasing the difficulty of maneuvering. If the water depth is not sufficient, large ships can run aground. In crowded ports, the space for large ships to operate is very limited, and wind and waves can cause ships to collide with other piers. Navigating a huge ship to sail or dock is a job that requires careful and precise work. Many different factors can affect this process, from weather conditions, the size of the ship to the skills of the sailors. To ensure safety, large ships are often equipped with modern equipment and are operated by experienced people. Would you like to know more about any other aspects of operating a ship? Opening the bottom spillway gate is carried out when the water level of the reservoir is too high, there is a risk of flooding, or when it is necessary to regulate the flow for other purposes, such as supplying water for production and daily life. Based on weather forecast models, engineers will forecast the amount of rainfall in the coming time to assess the possibility of increasing the water level of the reservoir. Assess the situation of water level, flow, and downstream works to ensure safety when releasing floodwater. If deciding to open the bottom spillway gate, the level of opening, partial or full opening, and the appropriate discharge flow will be determined. During the opening process, engineers will closely monitor the water level of the reservoir, discharge flow, and other parameters to adjust if necessary. Prepare necessary equipment, such as cranes, rescue buoys, communication equipment to respond to emergency situations. The bottom spillway gates will be closed slowly and safely. Would you like to know more about any other aspects of the process of opening the bottom spillway gate of a hydropower plant? Ensuring a safe distance between the ship and the bridge is one of the most important factors to avoid accidents when operating a ship. If the distance is too close, parts of the ship, such as chimneys, cranes, or deck equipment may collide with the bridge, causing serious damage to both the ship and the bridge. The higher the speed, the greater the safety distance must be so that the ship has enough time to react when an incident occurs. In bad weather conditions, such as strong winds, storms, the safety distance must be increased. Train drivers must strictly comply with regulations on speed and safe distance when passing through the bridge. Before passing through the bridge, train drivers must carefully check information on the height of the bridge, the allowable load, and other restrictions. Management agencies need to regularly inspect and upgrade bridges to ensure they meet safety requirements. Ensuring a safe distance between the ship and the bridge is an extremely important issue, directly related to life and property. Would you like to learn more about water safety regulations? Ensuring a safe distance between the ship and the bridge is one of the most important factors to avoid accidents when operating a ship. If the distance is too close, parts of the ship, such as chimneys, cranes, or deck equipment may collide with the bridge, causing serious damage to both the ship and the bridge. The higher the speed, the greater the safety distance must be so that the ship has enough time to react when an incident occurs. In bad weather conditions, such as strong winds, storms, the safety distance must be increased. Train drivers must strictly comply with regulations on speed and safe distance when passing through the bridge. Before passing through the bridge, train drivers must carefully check information on the height of the bridge, the allowable load, and other restrictions. Management agencies need to regularly inspect and upgrade bridges to ensure they meet safety requirements. Ensuring a safe distance between the ship and the bridge is an extremely important issue, directly related to life and property. Would you like to learn more about water safety regulations? Lava has a very high melting point, often exceeding 1000 degrees Celsius. Sunlight, even when focused through a prism, is not strong enough to generate such high temperatures. To reach the required temperatures, we need more concentrated energy sources, such as high-power lasers or electric arc furnaces. Lava is a solid with a high specific heat capacity. This means that it needs to absorb a large amount of heat to raise its temperature to a certain level. The surface of lava is usually dark in color, absorbing little visible light, making the melting process even more difficult. To concentrate sunlight into a hot spot, people often use spherical mirrors or converging lenses. Would you like to learn more about methods of melting lava? Anchoring at sea is an important activity to keep a boat fixed in a position on the water, especially when resting, repairing, or avoiding storms. This process requires caution and understanding of factors such as avoid areas with reefs, coral reefs, or strong currents. Find a place with the least wind to minimize the impact of waves. Sand or mud bottoms are often better than hard rocks because anchors are easier to hold. Drop the anchor into the wind to keep the line taut. Drop the anchor line about 5 to 7 times the water depth. Usually drop 1 to 2 anchors at the bow. Observe the anchor line and the boat to see if it is secure. Anchoring is like pitching a tent. You need to find a flat, solid place and away from dangerous places. The anchor line helps to hold the boat, just like the rope keeps the tent from being blown away by the wind. Would you like to know more about any aspect of anchoring? The giant converging prism works on the principle of light refraction. When a parallel beam of light passes through a prism, it will bend at the interface between the prism and the air. Due to the special shape of the converging prism, usually with a curved surface, these light rays will converge at a point called the focal point. The larger the prism, the stronger the ability to converge light. Converging prisms can be used to concentrate sunlight into a small point, creating high heat that can burn cactus. Hopefully, this information will help you better understand the working mechanism of the giant converging prism. Hundreds of eyes focused on a single point, the struggling dolphin. The roar of the engine, each cable stretched like steel tendons, together supporting a fragile life in the vast ocean. Sweat dripping, eyes shining with anxiety mixed with hope. Each person, big or small, contributed their part of their strength to the fight to save this rare marine creature. The crane rotated, the cable lifted and lowered rhythmically, the net gently lowered. Every movement was meticulously calculated to ensure the safety of both humans and marine life. Everyone believed that, with their help, the dolphin would return to the ocean, where it belonged. Dolphins, an intelligent and gentle animal, symbolize freedom and the beauty of nature. Saving its life was a meaningful act of environmental protection. It was not just a rescue, but also a message: let's protect our common home together. Anchoring a super large cargo ship to a berth is a complex process requiring precise coordination of many factors. The ship will choose the appropriate channel to approach the berth, avoiding obstacles such as reefs and buoys. After anchoring, the crew will recheck the anchor lines and buoys to ensure safety. The larger the ship, the more complicated the anchoring process and requires more experience. Water depth, berth structure, and anchoring support equipment all affect this process. The skills of the captain and crew play a very important role in ensuring the safety and efficiency of the anchoring process. GPS and radar help determine the exact location of the ship. Automation systems help reduce the workload of the crew and increase accuracy. Would you like to know more about any other aspects of this process? Hydraulic hammers operate on the principle of incompressible fluids. When hydraulic oil is pumped into the hammer cylinder, the pressure increases greatly, creating a very strong thrust on the hammer head. Thanks to the high hydraulic oil pressure and large contact area, the hammer creates an extremely strong force. Hydraulic hammers are widely used in construction, mining, demolition, and jobs that require large impact forces. Hydraulic hammers are an industrial device that uses hydraulic energy to create a strong impact force at a specific point. The outstanding advantage of hydraulic hammers compared to other demolition tools is that the impact force can be adjusted to suit each type of material, ensuring no damage to surrounding structures, creating less noise and dust, minimizing environmental pollution. Hydraulic hammers are used to break concrete, rocks, old building structures, and drive concrete piles. Do you want to know more about the different types of hydraulic hammers? Do you want to know the specific machines used in the production of aluminum spoons? Choose the right aluminum in terms of thickness, hardness, and ductility to ensure the quality of the final product. Design and manufacture a stamping die according to the shape of the spoon. The stamping die is usually made of hard steel and has high precision. Place the aluminum blank into the stamping die and perform the stamping process. The large pressure from the stamping machine will cause the aluminum sheet to deform according to the shape of the die, creating rough spoons. After stamping, separate the rough spoons from the die. Use a grinder to smooth the sharp edges, remove scratches, and clean the surface of the spoon. Check if the surface is smooth and scratch-free. Produce a large number of spoons in a short time. The stamping die plays an important role in determining the quality of the product. The quality of the aluminum sheet directly affects the durability and life of the product. Do you want to learn more about this production process? The giant bridge machine is a type of large-sized industrial lifting equipment used to move and lift heavy objects in large spaces. They play an important role in many industries, especially in manufacturing, construction, and installation activities. The bridge machine is capable of lifting very large loads, from a few tons to hundreds of tons, and can move in different directions, helping to lift and move materials to the exact location. The giant bridge machine operates on the principle of combining mechanical structures and electrical control systems to lift and move heavy objects in three-dimensional space. The pulley and cable system connects the forklift to the motors and helps lift and lower the load. The lifting capacity of the machine depends on the design and power of the motor. Do you want to learn more about the different types of bridge machines? Technology is changing the world every day, and industrial manufacturing plays a vital role in that process. Want to know how a new product gets to market? Join us to find out. Let's explore innovative technologies and unique manufacturing processes together. Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos about the latest trends and insights in the industry.